Is it okay to ask people if they've had COVID? Is it okay to ask people if they've been vaccinated?
These are two great questions that I get quite often as of late. And unfortunately, the answer is probably not what most want to hear. However, you should not ask them. I know that this is prevalent in society right now, this pandemic and what is going on. But you have to think back that this is personal information about oneself that is about their health.
Hey, how are people doing with the COVID vaccinations? If you're vaccinated, do you want a glass of wine? Or is it not okay to be dividing people like that?
Well, I think it depends on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're just fishing for information to see if they've been vaccinated, I would say no. But from an etiquette standpoint, it's certainly okay to put that out there.
Hey, I just got vaccinated. If you're vaccinated too, come over for Jenga and Triscuits.
Now, that is a less formal event. Okay, so that is something between friends. If you feel comfortable in doing that and that's what you prefer, then put that in there.
Let's celebrate our shots with shots is okay.
I wouldn't use those words, but yes, yeah. I like that.
Let's celebrate our shots with shots.
I like that. That's a new thing. I think I might have to adopt that. We're finding a lot with wedding invitations now as we're coming out and people are being vaccinated. They're changing the way they're putting together wedding invitations. So a social invitation as such can be worded that way. And that way that offers the person who's responding a yes or no, a way to say, yes, I have been and I'll be there, or no, I just decline. So, it kind of leaves it up to them.
Hold the phone, Missy. You are saying it's okay to put in a wedding invitation. You're invited to my wedding if you're vaccinated?
Now, you don't want to say if you're vaccinated. It's all in the wording. So it's not if you're vaccinated.
Chicken, beef, vaccinated, not?
Exactly. And this is some of the new norms that we're going to have to deal with for the next year or so, at least with like large gathering venues and events.
Is it okay to put your tables by brackets like the 75 and over table because they're more likely to have had the vaccine?
And absolutely, in order to be very precautious, and accept that there are or may still be restrictions, again, it's all about making your guests feel comfortable.
It is okay to invite only the vaccinated to Triscuits and Jenga or shots and shots, but not okay to only invite the vaccinated to your wedding.
Exactly. And don't make it public. So that's your little caveat, is that you're not going to come out on that card and saying, well, we only invited you because you were vaccinated, or we're segregating the vaccinated from the unvaccinated. Again, this is not public information to be shared with anyone. Like we said in the beginning, going up to someone saying, did you get shot? Why didn't you get, how come you don't believe in it? Well, again, none of that.
Aunt Mildred shows up and they're like, hey, tell me about the people at my table. Have they been vaccinated? Have they had COVID? What do you answer?
Yes, you answer, because this is Aunt Mildred and she is a family member. But again, to be polite, you should answer. Now, don't make up information if you don't know. So let's say you don't know if you didn't ask them. So you didn't, and she's at table 7 and you're not quite sure. You might want to say to Aunt Mildred, be honest with her. I'm not quite sure. We didn't ask that, but Aunt Mildred, if you feel more comfortable, please wear your mask and here's some hand sanitizer and, or whatever, and provide these options for your guests who might not feel comfortable, and you don't want to make a scene. We are not responsible for what Aunt Mildred says or does. So therefore the onus is off of you as the bride and groom or the family. And, we just have to sometimes chalk it up to, yeah, that's Aunt Mildred. So again, if she goes.
As a hostess, am I not responsible for shutting down behavior that makes people feel uncomfortable? If
yes and no.
Evidence says shot or no shot.
It's a fine line again, and I hate to keep you saying that, but it's up to the guest to decline if they are really not comfortable, rather than taking a stance of saying, well, I'm going anyway, and they better have a vaccinated table, or you know what I mean? So again, to be kind and polite and civil, make sure that you do these things beforehand with the host or hostess.
People saying, hey, I've been vaccinated. hey, I've already had COVID, you know, so I can behave differently.
And we are encountering this. Yes, you know, this is not something to take upon yourself at a formal event such as a wedding. And you know, it's one of those things that we all need to be polite and respectful of our host or hostess.